Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. And I want to welcome you here today. When you come on, please leave a comment, say hello so I can acknowledge you. I'd like to know where everybody's watching me from also, so you might want to add that to your comment. And if you're watching me on YouTube, be sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And you want to click that little bell also, that's right there. And that way you'll be notified when I go live. So I just want to get that out of the way. Today is not my normal time for doing my Facebook lives or my YouTube lives. I had a doctor appointment on Monday, so I wasn't able to do it then. So I wanted to get one in this week. So I chose Thursday today at 10 o'clock Central Time. So I'm going to give a moment for everybody to get here, and I'm going to kind of catch my breath. It's been crazy around here this week. I don't know. We need a calm, drama-free week. It's been one thing after the other. I'll explain all that after we get started. All right. So I want to remind everybody that Stampin' Up has got a very good joining promotion going on right now. It says join Stampin' Up's worldwide community of crafters and creatives. It's $125 you get in product, but you only pay $35 for it. And if you have any sales tax, that would be added on to that $35. But it's free shipping, and you pick out $125 worth of products. Don't go over if you want to stay under that 125. So probably like 124 would be safe for you to do. And we also have another one. If you don't like that deal, we also got another choice where you pay $99 and you get $189 worth of products. So whatever fits your budget, you can go with. But I think I like the $35 one because after you get your kit, your first order that you put in after that, you'll get a discount of 20% on your products. And then that'll go towards your quarterly orders. I guess you got to have $300 in 3 months. So it's $100 a month. That's not too bad. But this, if you did the $35 kit, you wouldn't be paying so much out of pocket right away. So, but if you want to go with the other one, the $99 one, either one is good. I'd love to have you on my team. And along with me, you get much, much more. You get all of my upline, and we do training every week. And there's all sorts of things going on. We have challenges and team meetings. It's all fun. It's all a good group of ladies. I'm not sure how many are in there, but it's a bunch. So think about it. If you have any questions, get back with me. My email is in the description. You can email me, or you can private message me on Facebook, either whichever one you prefer to do. I'd be glad to help you. Would love to have you on my team, like I said. All right. And then we're going to talk about our paper pumpkin for October is called Wrapped in Cheer. And it's a box. Looks like you make a box and there's some tags and different things there. Okay. The box is perfect for gift cards or small treats. So it doesn't give the measurements on there. But it looks really cute. I can't wait to get mine. All right. And then along with that paper pumpkin kit, we've got 3 different paper pumpkins that this covers. It covers October, November, and December. I'm thinking I have that right. And you can get those dies added on with your paper pumpkin order, or you can add it to your next order. And it has all those dies included. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different dies. And the price on that is $12, but you have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So you could subscribe to Paper Pumpkin now and go ahead and add that to your order. So let me see what else we need to show. I think we've got everything. Don't forget about our online exclusives. We've got some new ones coming out next month. And let's see. That's just all about the joining special. All right. So any housekeeping notes that I might have forgotten? I don't know. I think that's it. I'm not thinking very good. I've had a frazzled week this week, so my mind isn't where it's supposed to be here right now. But let's go ahead and get the program started. Like I said, my name is Debbie Foster. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, which is the southern part of Arkansas. And I want to welcome you here today. Be sure you like and share the video, and also on YouTube that you like that, and also click that subscribe button. All right, so let's go ahead and turn our tables around and get started. Get my desktop turned. Which buttons do I point to? All right. I'm a little slow today, it looks like. All right, so there we have my information, Creating Cards with Debbie. And if you want to shop any of the products that I'm showing today, you can go to my website, which is, I'll put that scrolling on the bottom so you can see it right there. To shop any items and paper or any items of Stampin' Up, you can get those out in my store, which is www.debbiefoster.stampinupnet.net, and that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And also, if you need to email me, you can reach me at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. And Debbie is spelled Debbie. So there's different ways of spelling it, I guess. So I want to make that clear. And today's date is October 16th. Gosh, October's half gone already. Seemed like it just started. All right, so I'm going to take that banner off, make some room. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I only have 2 cards today. I've been pressed for time this week. It's been a crazy week. And I know I wasn't here last week, so I wanted to make sure I got a video in this week. So that's why we're doing a Thursday. So Thursday, October 16th, 2025. All righty, let's get started with our project. I've got 2 cards today. I usually do 3, but I ran out of time prepping everything. So I've cut it down to 2. I figured 2 is better than none, so we'll go with it. Let me get this out of the way. On my desk a little bit. All right. So October is Pastor Appreciation Month. I know we celebrate it. We give our pastor something, and this is going to be his card. And that's the first card that we're working on today. It says, "Grateful for you." And then on the inside, "Blessed to have you in," it says "my life," but I put some washi tape over the "my," and then I stamped it, and then I just wrote in "our," O-U-R. It could be a little darker. I might have to do something different with that. And then I heat embossed the inside with our messages. So it says, "Blessed to have you in our life. You're simply the best." So that's our first project. And let me get my bits and pieces all over here. And we're using the Amber Autumn bundle. It comes with the dies and the stamp set as a bundle. And you can save 10% that way. Or you can buy them separately. If you don't need both the dies and the stamp set, you can just order one of whichever one you prefer. So we've got, how many dies are in here? I guess I didn't write. Yeah, I did. It has 5 different dies we're going to be using today. Here's a stamp set. We're going to be using pretty much everything in here except for the thanks I'm not using, but everything else we are today. All right. Bits and pieces out here, and I'm tangled up in my cord here. All right, let's get this all out of our packaging so we can get started. I am going to do some die cutting today, so I didn't get everything done ahead of time. So I'm going to set those there, there. All right. All right, Grateful for You. It's the name of our card. And I'm going to start out with our very vanilla cardstock. And that measures just our standard 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock. This is very vanilla. I'm going to burnish that fold line. Nope, not with that one I'm not. I dropped it on the floor. Pick it up later. Don't spike its mouth though. So it's going to be opening this way. So got that, set that aside. And then I die cut our piece of very vanilla, which was 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And I've already die cut that out. So this is using that same die that comes in that bundle. So I'm going to take that die off of there very carefully so I don't rip anything. Okay, it came off good. See, here's the die. Love that. This is what it comes out looking like. Isn't that pretty? All right. And then we're going to attach that to the front of our card. So I'm going to use my silicone mat to do that with. Let me see, this glue bottle has enough glue in it. I'm just going to put around the outer edges of the frame. All right, and then figure which is top and which is the bottom. I don't think it really matters. I'm going to turn it this way. Are you still in camera view? Yeah. I don't want to lose y'all, so I've got to make sure you're still there. All right, now we're going to press that down onto the front of our card. And I just glued the outside area, the framework. So very pretty, the contrast. All right, and then next, that's our inside layer. I don't need that right now. I'm going to take a scrap of our basic beige. This is 3 inches by 3 inches if you want to know some good measurements on that. And I'm going to take my pumpkin image and I'm going to use my black memento ink that I put into my craft mat, which comes uninked. So I added my memento ink to that. And we're going to stamp pumpkins. Okay, set down. Hope I didn't bounce that around. No, that's good. So here's our image. And I think I might do my die cutting stuff first, get that out of the way. So we're going to set this aside for a moment. And I'm going to bring over my baby boss. And get my plates here going. All right, we had quite an ordeal yesterday. First off, let's see, how did the day start? I had my coffee, that all went good. And then I usually make a bowl of oatmeal in the microwave for my breakfast. So I just stuck it in the microwave. I'm probably a minute into it because it takes 2 minutes to cook. About a minute into it, we lost all of our power in our house. All the electricity was gone. So then we were smelling something, smelling like smoke, rubber burning or something. So Jack tried to figure it out, but he's not an electrician, or he's not good at electricity, put it that way. So he tried to fix it, but he couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And needless to say, we had to call in an electrician because we couldn't find the source of the problem. So the electrician was here yesterday from 12 o'clock until after 5. So he put in a long day. They were trying to track it down to see what was going on. But they finally found the problem about 4 hours into it. And they had to replace a wire that comes into our house from, I guess it comes in from the garageway and into the house, but it was underground under the house. So they finally found that was the culprit problem, and they had to replace all that wire underneath the house that comes into it. But anyway, I thought, oh great, we had major, um, what are they? Or burst of electricity came into the house more than it was supposed to. So I thought it had ruined all my appliances because my refrigerator, my dishwasher, my stove, and um, the over the hood fan was going crazy when all this was going on. So, um, but we lucked out. We didn't lose any of the appliances because they're all new this year. I just bought all new ones. And the refrigerator, I think, is maybe only 2 weeks old. So I was sick to my stomach all day long worrying about it until I found out after they got everything fixed that it still works. So praise God. Guess I was doing a lot of praying because God answered my prayer. But we did lose our hopper for our TV for our dish network. That's not working anymore, so we can't watch TV because we can't get the signal going into the TV. It says no signal. So they're supposed to come out tomorrow, Dish is, to reinstall an updated hopper, I guess is what it's called. So we sat last night with no TV to watch, so it was kind of boring, but we got through it. And then we no more got into bed, and my daughter calls and says that there's a fire next door. So sure enough, we got back out of bed and went outside and seen the huge flames flying up in the air. The house is a total loss. They had dogs in there too. She was a breeder of schnauzers, the regular size and the miniature. They found one dog, but they are thinking that the other four are probably dead, that they should have perished in the fire, which is awful. So the house is completely gone. So we came back home and finally got settled down in bed. It was after 10 o'clock. And I just feel so bad for Dondi and her puppy doggies that she lost. That's heartbreaking. They're like our babies. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to grab my Stampin' Blends. I cut out 2 of those leaves. And then in the center portion, I also saved that because I'm going to add that as part of my embellishments also. So I'm going to set those right there. Put my die in my magnetic dish. And, okay, let's do some coloring. What was that? I don't know what that was. I don't know if you heard that on camera. Huh. No idea what it was. Strange things are happening in this house this week. All right, we're going to do the colors that we're using are going to be Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Pecan Pie. So that's Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Pecan Pie. I'll find the right one here. That's bronze. I don't want that one. That's my other Pecan Pie. It's hiding. That's Crown Pie. Okay. I got them out here already. No wonder I couldn't find them. They're right beside me. Oh, well, like I said, it's been quite a week. All right, we're going to start out coloring. So I'm going to start out with our Timid Tiger. I'll do the pumpkins. And I'm going to start with a light and then come back in with the dark. On camera? Yeah. I probably should have laid something under there because it's going to soak through. Let me see, I've already done some there. Let's turn that over and use our silicone mat so it doesn't seep over my tabletop here. Try to keep it clean. I didn't change it today. It's from last time, so I hope it holds out for me today. All right. And I'm going to pull off the white end and color that in faster. This is Timid Tiger, or this blend. And so last week we were camping. What is sounding off? I don't know. Strange things are happening. All right, and we'll go ahead and color this other little pumpkin too. While we got the light Timid Tiger out. All right, and we'll take off that brush tip. Fill that all in. I love this stamp set. It talks fall. The pumpkins. All right, that's the light. There's the dark Timid Tiger. And we're going to just follow their stamping lines here to give it some shadows, to shade it. So our camping went great. There were some friends from church. Had a good time. I don't know if you've seen my picture on Facebook, but I caught 5 large fish like that one. It's over 10 pounds. Catfish. So we got lots of fish that week, and we've got lots of fish in the freezer now. We need to do a fish fry. All right, and we're going to do, did I do that? I feel like I'm missing something. It doesn't look, I guess it is. It's just blended in a little bit. And did I do this one? Pay attention what I'm doing. Okay. And then we're going to start with our darling duckling. I don't know what's going on. Something's going off for some reason. I hear it, but I don't know what it's doing or what's doing it. All right, we're going to do the light darling duckling on our, looks like a squash or something. Maybe a banana squash. Okay. And then I'm going to dot, dot, dot on the ear of the corn with the darling duckling and come back with the light. And dab, dab, dab with the light darling duckling. And I'm going to color the leaves of that corn. I guess that's the silk. Or no, the silk is the stuff that's inside of the corn. Alrighty, I need that now. And then I'm going to color the shrub or weeds or whatever they are. I'm not sure what they are. Some kind of plant. And I think that's all the yellow. Oops, got one down here. Sticking out from the bottom corner. And then we're going to do the dark darling duckling and highlight this with the shading, the dark. And I might add a few into the leaves there. Okay, and then pecan pie. I just ordered new ones. That's what these are. Oops. All right, I'm going to start out with the light. That's the dark. Here's the light. I'm hearing that again. It's going to drive me crazy till I find out what's going on. Huh. I hear something. Okay, this is the light. Pecan pie. I'll color all the stems on the pumpkin and then on the stem of the squash. And then I'm going to add a little bit down here to the ground where they're sitting. Okay. I want the dark pecan pie. All right, just one. And we'll do these little squiggly things that are on the pumpkin. I'm using the dark pecan pie. And I need old olive. And then work out here they are. So I'm going to start with the light and color our leaves. And two over here, peeking out the side. Okay, and now we're going to come back with the dark old olive. And we'll do the veins of the leaves. Okay, got that one. Do a little bit on this one. All right, and it goes. And I'll grab the die, which I've already misplaced that. Where did it go? Oh, goodness. Here it is, stuck underneath something. I'm going to cut out the pumpkin. This die goes with that. Let me see which way this goes. Well, okay. All right, right there. And then I'm going to use my washi tape to hold it down. And got it, oops, got it centered good. I think that's good. Tip that down, bring our machine over here, our baby boss. Okay, we've got another camping trip coming up the end of the month, so that'll probably be our last one for the season. We'll go ahead and winterize the camper after that. And pull our tape off of there. There's our pumpkin. All right, and we're going to set that aside. We're going to bring our card back over here. Well, no, we're going to do the sentiment, didn't it? Well, missing something I'm looking for. Okay. I've got one of the banners that are cut out from our stylish shapes here. And I used this banner to cut that out. And we're going to heat emboss this one. So I need to bring my toolkit over here. And I'm going to use my embossing buddy to add a little powder to that so it doesn't stick where I don't want it to stick. And my Versamark ink. And Grateful for You It's the stamp image. Grateful for you. So we're going to put it into our Versamark pad. And when I think there's enough on there, I'll do it again just to make sure. And I'm going to stamp this. I need to bring it down to my face further. And I think I got it all on. We'll put our lid back on our Versamark pad. And I'm going to use copper. Oops, this is a copper embossing powder. And bring me a paper over here to do this on. I could use my, I think I just smudged it. I think I messed it up. I don't know. Let me see if it'll stick to it. I might have to do another one. Yeah, it looks kind of funky, I think. We'll try it. I've got an extra one that I've already done sitting here also, so I might have to grab that one. Let me see if I can salvage this. I don't know. Maybe pour that back into my embossing powder. And I'm going to bring my heat gun over here. I'm going to use my tweezers to hold this with because the heat gun gets pretty hot on the fingers. Takes a minute for the heat gun to heat up to the desired temperature to melt this. So I'm going to just let it sit there for a minute and let it run until it heats up a little bit more. Let's go ahead and start here. Let's see what I'm doing. Yes. Starting the magic of embossing. This always fascinates me. I think it's so neat. It's kind of messed up in the middle. I think I'll go ahead and grab the one I've already done ahead of time instead of trying to cut another one. I think it's in my basket here somewhere. Well, it was in here. But now it has disappeared. There it is. It's hiding. All right. So here's one I've already done. Grateful for you. Looks a whole lot better than that one. That got smudged. All right. So we're going to set that aside. And while I'm embossing, I think I'll go ahead and emboss the inside. Get that done. So we need another basic beige layer for the inside. And this measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm going to use my embossing buddy to get rid of any static cling. And got 2 sentiments that go on the inside. What did I put on the inside? Okay, blessed. So blessed to have you in my life. And the other one is you're simply the best. So let's bring our Versamark pad over here again. Ink this up. Start with the top one first. It's quiet here today. Husband went to town. He's getting propane put in our tanks for our campers that we have. They're saying it's supposed to cool off this next week, so I don't know what the weather's going to be like when we go camping. So it's better to be prepared than not. All right, there's blessed to on that one, and then the other one is going to go towards the bottom. Well, kind of in the middle on the right side. So let's put it right there, I guess. We need to leave room to write, and then we've got a strip that's going across the bottom also. So we want to save a little bit of room. All right, lid. copper embossing powder. I just pour it on there and tap, 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 and then run it through again. So we're just going to angle it a little bit so it goes down there. I'm just rambling here. All right, so that should be good. Take off the excess. And I need my brush again. What I do with it? There it is. I'm going to clean up here a little bit. Some embossing powder stuck where I didn't want it stuck. All right, don't touch it this time. We don't want it to smear. And bring our heat gun back here. Oops, I should have put that paper away. Let me do this right before I have a big mess. And put this back in the jar. I just messed up my tea on there. Dadgummit. I have to do this again. I'm going to flip that over. See, I smudged my tea. Not good. Let's do this again. All right. Like I said, I only had 2 cards to do today, but I'm messing up a lot. It might take as much time as the 3 cards does. Hi, Glenda. Glad you're here. I just barely got started, so you can go back and catch the replay to catch the beginning if you want. But you didn't really miss too much. Mostly just the announcements that are going on. All right. Where are you watching me from, Glenda? Okay, that one. And where did I put my other stamp? Right here. No, that's not it. Nice to have you in my life. Okay, I stuck it back in my tray here. You're simply the best. Go on the right side, centered. All right, lid right there. I feel out of sorts today, I guess, because we've had such a crazy week going on. I'm all disembobulated. Okay, try this again. All right, let's put this back in the jar before I forget. Embossing powder flying. I do have some on my desk here. All right, bring that brush over here and clean this up. So anyway, the fire next door that happened last night, she raised schnauzers, miniature and regular size. They found 1 dog, but the other 4 perished in the fire. So that's so sad. All right, now the heat gun. Try this again. It should be hot enough already. They just shut it off, so it shouldn't take it very long. And there's our inside. We have a strip of that's not the right one. Where did it go? thought I had a strip that went across the bottom. There it is. This one is, I think, 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch by 5 3/4. No, 5 1/4 inches. And that's going to go at our bottom edge here. And I just stuck my finger on that, so I'm going to have sticky finger. Come on, slide over a little bit more. There we go. And we could go ahead and put this inside of our card. Need to trim off excess there a little bit, a tiny bit, hang over. Get some embossing powder off there so it sticks. All right, let's use our glue and attach this to the inside of our card. We'll be done with the inside. And I think I may have to open a new bottle. It feels like it's empty. I've got one sitting here and I don't know what fell. Brand new bottle. Open our card, put it on the inside. Come on, open. Got embossing powder all over the place here. I need one of those little vacuums that I've seen people have, just to clean off your desk a little bit. Well, why aren't you closing? What happened there? Did I do the wrong side? I bet I did the wrong side. But we're not going to correct it. We'll fix it later. You kind of get the idea. See, I'm smearing it. I lost my tea. All right, it's just one of those days. We're just going to go with the flow here. And I have a little strip of that. This is, what is it called? Metallic. No, earth and tone metallic 12 by 12 specialty paper. So it's like a copper color, I guess, metallic. And that's going to go here, but we're going to use our punch to make the edges pretty. So let me bring that punch over here. This is Happy Labels Pickup Punch. It's got two different kinds, a small wavy line or a deeper. And we're going to use this one here. And I need to unlock my punch, put that in that center of that, and push it all the way up. And I turn it over so I can see the back side. Okay. So you see kind of a ruffled edge. I'm going to do both sides, both ends. And that's going to go on dimensionals. Dimensionals here. Where did I put them? I'm losing things today. I've got another one down here. I'll grab that. Those are little. Oh, these are little ones. Oh, good grief. Did I lose them? Here's one. This is one of my paper pumpkin ones that came with it. We'll use that. And We're going to put one at each end and then one in the middle to help support it. I'm falling out of my chair. Don't need to fall on the floor on camera. Maybe a big thump. Get those dimensional backings off. And we're going to add this kind of centered, but more so over towards the left side. And is that straight? Yeah. And then I'm going to put a little seal in the center of that. I probably should have done that first. And that's going to hold our ribbon in place. And our ribbon that we're using is right here. It is the new one, which is called Irregular Weave Trim. It doesn't have the color on here. I'm not sure. It's kind of a beige color. And I'm going to measure that just by holding it there. So I'll give you the dimensions when I get done cutting this. It is about 8.5 inches. So you want to fold that in half kind of, but kind of angle it. And we're going to place that onto our little strip of metallic paper. Like so. And then we're going to take our pumpkin. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of that. I'm just going to put at the top and at the bottom because we're going to be on top of ribbon there. So I don't want it wobbling. One there. Another one here. Take off those dimensional backings. My fingers are sticky from the glue, so everything's sticking to them. All right, and this is going to go over the top of that. And I think I'm going to stay more to the left side. Not quite centered. You can see. All right, now we've got our sentiment, and we're going to put one dimensional at one end and then just glue on the other side. So on the right side is where the one dimensional goes. And we'll just glue the other side. And this is going to sit well, that one I put up a little higher. So maybe right about there. And I'm going to get that ribbon out of there. I want it to stick out from the bottom side, so I scooched it over a little bit. So you can see the ribbon down here and on top, and then on this side. All right, now we're going to do our leaves. And what I'm going to do is use my silicone mat. Let's move that out of the way. Bring that silicone mat back over here. And I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of these leaves. And these are the center of the leaves that we're using. Waste not, want not. All right, I put a little dab of glue over here. And then I've got, this is an old pastry brush. I cut the things down shorter, so I cut off probably about half of it. And we're going to use that to put our glue onto our leaves here. Just going to tap, tap, tap. And the same with the large leaves. That works so good. All right, we're going to start placing the big ones first. And take this one. Try not to get glue on that metallic paper. And we're just going to scooch them underneath that ribbon a little bit next to the pumpkin. And this one can go on this side of the pumpkin. Let's put it down here. And of course, let me cut this end off. I'll tuck underneath. So right about there. And I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers to pick these smaller ones up. Thank you from getting glue all over my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to put one here. Oop. Bend that one a little bit. That's okay. No harm. And this one we want to put down here. So maybe tuck that up underneath there. Push it under. There. All right, so there's the front of our card, but we need to add some embellishments. So I'm going to be using, these are new, these are the streak dots. And I'm going to add those. I haven't even opened these yet. I usually cut it along the side, but I hadn't done that one yet. All right, so we're going to grab, I guess it's only two sizes. We're going to grab a large one, two large ones, and a small one, I guess is what it looks like on my other card. Okay. I'm going to put one right there. A small one next to that. Right there. And then another large one at the bottom. And I think I'll put that one right about there, I think. All right, we made it through this card. If you wanted to, you could add a little Wink of Stella to your pumpkins, but I didn't. So this is our card, first card, Grateful for You. And on the inside, I messed it up, but it says, Blessed to have you in my life. You're simply the best. So I'll fix that later. I'm not going to worry about it right now. All right, so let's clean up this mess a little bit and get on to our second card, which is going to be a fun fold. Let's pick this up a bit. Do that. All right, I think I've got it together. My instructions, might need those. Let's move this out of the way so I don't get glue and everything. I did some of the die cutting ahead of time on this one, so save a little time. But it's an easel card. It sits like this. So Autumn Wishes, Blessed to have you in my life, is on the inside panel. So let's get started with that. Our card base is going to be our basic beige. And this measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then it is scored at, let me make sure I got the right measurements, 2 3/4 inches and 5 1/4 inches. So our score lines, I haven't varnished those yet. And I'm going to go this way. Let's see if I got this. Yeah, that's right. This one's going to go up and over. So fold it towards the inside up to the folding ring. So it's going to sit like this. And then we've got another basic beige. And this one measures 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And that's going to go onto our little flap right there. So we're going to go ahead and just put glue on this portion. Open it up and do it. And my adhesive of choice is our Tombow glue, the green glue. It gives me time to move it if I need to. And I'm going to lay this down on top of that, half of that flat. And make sure it's lining up good. Press that down good. Okay, it's going to sit like this so far. Oops. Give that enough time there. Let's press that down. Okay, so we're going to set that aside for now. And next we have a basic white, which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to go onto that front flap. So I think I'm going to do my stamping first. I don't mess it up. I'm going to stamp and heat emboss Autumn Wishes at the bottom of this on the left side. So let's bring that tray back over here of our goodies. And my Versamark, my embossing buddy again. Just wipe off any static on there. Think of our sentiment, Autumn Wishes. And it's going to go in the bottom left side. And I'm trying to judge where my other things are going to go above that, so I didn't want to get it too close to the top. And we're going to use the gold this time, gold embossing powder. And it looks like I got a shadow there. I'm going to have to get that off afterwards. With the cling stamp, sometimes you get a shadow over, so I pushed too hard, I guess, when I was stamping it. Some people do trim down the rubber stamps, but I hadn't. I have a few I've done too, but not this one, I guess. So we're just going to get rid of that smudge. And lift that lid and bring our gun back over here. Heat gun. That's the noises. I'm going to straighten my paper out. I'm going to keep the back side to straighten it out. It was curling a little bit. All right. And then I die cut our gold foil paper with this die, which is this is from the Nested Essentials dies. It has different shapes in there, but we're using this one, the banner. And that's going to go right here. I haven't got embossing powder on there yet. I guess it's not. I'm going to attach that with our glue. No, I'm going to wait a second. I got some ribbon I got to put on there. Seemed like I had a strip here. No. Cut another one. Ribbon, where are you? I lose more things. I don't know how I do that. It's hiding back here. All right, this is that same ribbon. And I'm going to wrap that around the top side. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to strip of that adhesive across the top. And I'm just eyeballing how much of this I want. Scissors. This is probably 5.5 inches, maybe 5 inches. And just going to go across the top here. Oh, I didn't stick to that. Why didn't you? There we are. And I'm sticking to my fingers. I'll make sure that's even. There we go. All right. And we're not going to put that on dimensionals. We're going to glue it straight down. So I'm going to see if I can get my adhesive on there. And that's not sticking there. I have to put another piece of tape on there. Yeah. It might hold down until I get it attached to the card front. All right, then this is going to go right here. The left side. And then we've got a strip of Designer Series paper that measures 1.5 by 5 1/4 inches. And the paper that I'm using comes from the Gathering Together Designer Series paper. And I am using this one here. So that's going to go onto this right side of our basic white card stock. And put our glue on there and attach that down. And I think there's a right side here, so I'm just going to put it right like this. And that's going to butt up right against that right side edge. So. All right. Now this one can go onto our front flap. That's that extra layer that we added, that 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. All right. I've got held right. And place that down with the small border going around it. Is it even? Looks like it's even. Okay. That ain't sticking there. Okay. All right, we're done with that one. And we're going to stamp in colors those pumpkins again. Bring that back here, my black memento. Put the lid on our glue for now. Close that paddock. And then we're going to grab our lens. Alright, we're going to use Cajun Craze on these pumpkins. A little bit different. The light and the dark. And darling duckling and pecan pie. Pecan pie, darling duckling, pecan pie, and our old olive. I think those both are the same. Those both are dark. Yeah, we need a light one. There we go. All right. Then paper over here and just soak up the excess. That might bleed through. All right, we'll start with the Cajun Craze. And I want to start with the light. All right, I'm going to get close to my lines and then I'll come back in at the larger end. Now this is a light Cajun Craze. And we'll do the shading with the dark Cajun Craze. And I'll also color the other pumpkin while we're at it. Oh, I was going to do these different colored. Yeah, too late. I've already done it. I was going to do it with Pretty Peacock. That's okay. Next time, our pumpkins will be the same color. I'm taking a while today. I thought these would be quicker. All right, then we'll come back in with the dark Cajun Craze. We'll do some shading. I'm just going to follow what they've got stamped here on the image. And do some shading on that large pumpkin. So quiet. I guess JoJo's sleeping. She had a birthday too last weekend. On the 5th of October, she turned 2 years old. All right, now we're going to do with our darling duckling. And again, I'm going to start with the light and go to the dark for my shading of it. All right, and we're going to color the greenery, whatever that is, with the darling duckling light. Some kind of weeds, so I'm not sure what they are. And we'll do the corn here too in a minute. I'm starting out with the dark. Coloring the leaves of the ear of corn there. Let's got another flower right over here. And we're just going to dot, dot, dot onto our corn to give it some color. This is the dark darling duckling. And then I'll come back in with the light darling duckling and continue with that. So dot, dot, dot with the dark. This is the light. Yeah, it's the dark. We started out with the light. And I'm going to do some shading on our squash there. And I think I got everything I need in there. And then we're going to do our stems of our pumpkins and our squash with the pecan pie. And I'm going to start out with the light pecan pie. Coloring the stems of the pumpkins and the squash. And I'm going to color this ground here a little bit with the pecan pie. And these little swirly things coming off the pumpkins. All right, now our leaves are going to be old olive, the light and the dark. Color our leaves. And we've got two more leaves over here on this side. And do the veins of the leaves with the dark old olive. All right, now I can die cut this out. Lights. And our dies are where? Again. Right here. Well, I've got that one out already. It's in my metallic bowl. All right, then we're going to precision this on here and die cut it. And I'm going to use that same washi tape to hold it down. I thought, where did I put it? So easy to lose stuff here. I'll just grab another one then. I thought I kept it. Maybe I threw it away. All right, get that lined up with our image. I'll put it on there and run that through. So there's our die cut of our pumpkin. And I'm going to place that up on dimensionals. And I want to put enough on there so they're not going to sink. So I'm going to put one in the middle. And take your pick tool. I just had. I don't know. I've misplaced it. We'll just use the old fingers. See if they want to work today. Yeah, I broke a fingernail, so I keep wanting to grab with the old nail, and it's not there no more. All right. This is going to go on top of our banner here. And kind of put it centered. Okay. And then we need a little bow, which I don't think I made a bow ahead of time. So we're going to use my bow maker and make a bow to go on the top. I have lost the ribbon again. Where did it go? Talk about losing things today. Oh, it's right there beside me, looking right at it. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep last night. We were up late watching the fire going on. It's really close to us. Just across the dirt road, I guess, the backside of us. Okay. Snip that off. And then that's going to go at the top here with the mini glue dot. So next week I should be back on schedule at my regular time, Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And it's going to go centered above that gold banner. And I could probably trim just a little bit off of that side. All right, so here's the front of the card. Now let's get working on the inside of the card. And we've got another layer of the Designer Series paper, which measures okay, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to go centered on the inside. Kind of pretty on the back side too. I think I need to order another pack of this paper. I've been going through it pretty good. It's a good fall paper. Okay, so it's going to go on here. Open that up so I can get it centered. All right, that looks good. That's the center of our card, or the back, yeah, the inside of our card. And you can see it. We're not done yet. We need to work on our stopper for that. And I have die cut our basic weight using one of these. And these come from the Nested Essentials dies. There's 12 dies in here. It's a pretty good size pack. So I've already cut that out already. And we're going to heat emboss on this also. So I've got 2 just in case I mess up. Give that a try, see what happens. And we're going to put blessed to have you in my life. It's going to be the sentiment. We'll bring back our embossing toolkit again, and we'll do that. Simple chamois. I mean, if you want to call it a chamois, it's a embossing buddy. Can't talk today. Okay, Versamark ink. Blessed to have you in my life. It's going to be the inside sentiment. And we're just going to stamp that centered on that die cut. All right, and we're going to use the gold embossing powder. And let's dump that on there one more time. Make sure I've got enough on there. Put this back in the jar. Grab reverse tweezers to hold that. It's kind of a small area. And got a little smudge up here I need to wipe off. All right, bring that heat gun back over. Watch the magic begin. Okay. All right, then that's going to go on dimensionals. I'm just going to put them the top and the bottom. I could put one in the center to keep it from sinking, I guess. Why not? I know where I can get some more. And don't forget about those starter kits going on. That's only running until the end of October. October 31st is your last chance. And I've never seen Stampin' Up! Give that such a good deal on their starter kits. If I wasn't already a demonstrator, I'd be getting mine. Can't get much cheaper than what that $35 one is. So we're going to put this at the bottom of that inside layer. And this is going to stop our easel from folding up. You'll stop it like that. All right, and then we have another basic white. And where did that go? That's another inside layer. Which I have misplaced here. Where did I put it? I don't know, but I can cut another one. I don't know, it's probably here somewhere. It's just hiding from me. No. Well, we'll just cut another one. Bring our paper trimmer out here. And get going with this. This one is 2 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches. So there's 3.5. Let's do the 2 3/4 and this way. All right. And on this one, I added a leaf. That I've already colored, and that's out of that same set. And that's going to go at the top portion here. And glue that down. I'm going to cut off that excess, so not all of this is going to be on there. I'm going to put some at the top and some at the bottom. So let me see if that's enough glue on there. Depending how much room you want to write a message, you could leave that off if you didn't want it. Make room for writing something down. I'm going to trim off the excess of the leaf or the acorns. So, like that. And then I'm going to take this bottom or that cut off part of the leaf and I'm going to just attach that to the bottom. So we're not wasting, we're using everything. I mean, I took the time to color it, so I don't want to just throw it in the trash. If I can use it for something else. All right, and along that bottom right-hand side. And now we can attach that to the inside of our card. And it's going to go at the upper portion, centered. And I've got a little piece here sticking up. Can I sneak that in there? Yeah. I'll fix it later. So it's going to stand up against that to keep it open and standing. Kind of see that. But now we need to add some bling. Our card ain't complete unless we have some bling on it. So we're going to use probably, what did I do with them? I am losing everything today, I guess because I'm so flustered and within a hurry this morning getting things done. Oh, they're in my basket yet. No wonder I couldn't find them. These are on the last chance list. They are called low profile dots. And they were $7.50 and they're marked down to $6. You get 140 of these. So there's the petal pink and the gold. I'm sorry. I don't know where my take your pick tool went. It is here somewhere. So I'm just going to use my other pokey tool to get those off with. I'm not going to hunt for it and waste time. I'm going to be using the gold ones. And we're going to take two of the larger ones, place on just under that banner, gold banner. And then the other one is going to go onto this one. And we'll stick to the large ones. And let me see. Where do I want it? Maybe right there. All right. I think we have our card completed. I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't miss anything. Looks like we got it accomplished. Turn up my area a little bit here and see what I'm doing. All right, so here's our 2 cards for today. I'm sorry it's not 3. I kind of shortchanged you today. This one. So our 2 cards. One's a fun fold with the easel card, and then the other one is just a regular card. So, like I said, this is for Pastor Appreciation Month this month. So this is a card that'll be given to our pastor. Well, it'll be the other card that I didn't mess up. And then this one is just Autumn Wishes, being it's fall. So I hope you enjoyed the cards today, and you be sure to like and share the video. And I will see you next Monday, which will be, let me get my calendar, the 20th, October 20th. Yes, October 20th, 25. And that'll be at 10 a.m. So until then, y'all have a good rest of the week. Have a good weekend. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.